Hello there, and welcome to New Comic Book Day for the week of April the 30th. As always, I'm your chairman of the United States Department of Nerds, where we are for the people, by the people, and of the people. Before we jump into New Comic Book Day, let's break down my top 5 picks from last week. And up at number 5, we have Lilith, that returned to us from Vault Comics last week. This is, of course, written by Corin Howell, and I had picked up covers by Chris Shehan, Corin Howell, and Ashleigh Izienicki. And this made the top 5 simply for its amazing comeback that it had with some production issues. So welcome back to the recommendations, Vault Comics, and Lilith. Now, up next at number 4, we're going to Dark Horse, I believe. Yep, Dark Horse with Arcane Royale, issue number 1 by Cullen Bunn. Art was done by AC Zamudio and color by Bill Crabtree. And Josh Reed did the letters on this. This was a fantastic read and off to a fiery start that I'm excited to dive into this book some more when it hits shelves again. Now, coming in at number 3, we're going to Oni Press and EC Comics this week with Epitaphs from the Abyss, issue 10 by Jeff Jensen, Chris Cantwell, art by Kano and Peter Krause, and this is the Derek Robertson cover. I always enjoy Epitaphs from the Abyss. I think EC Comics and Oni Press are absolutely killing the game right now when it comes to these books. 3 Tales of Terror, guaranteed to leave your spine tingling. Up next, and at the number 2 spot, we're going with the new release from ImageComics last week in the expanded SpawnUniverse with Medieval Spawn Volume 1, Issue 1 by Rory McConville. Art was done by Marco Itri, and covers, I picked up covers from Francisco Matina and Todd McFarlane. There's also a black and white version of this book, of this cover, that was phenomenal as well. Welcome to the game, Medieval Spawn, man. We've all wanted this for so long, and now we have it. Great pickup from last week. Now I'm doing something a little different, and I have an honorary mention just simply because this, I think, is going to be a fantastic book in the Predator-verse of them versus the different Marvel superheroes. And this is going to be my honorary mention of this week. It's going to be Predator versus Spider-Man, issue number 1, written by Benjamin Percy, who's been killing it with this Predator series. And then we got art by Marco Ferreira, cover by Ryan Brown, inks by Jay Liston, and color by Frank D. Armada. This was a very, very fun book to read. I enjoyed it immensely, and I can't wait for issue 2 of this book. Now, finally, rounding it out this week, in the number 1 spot, I had to give it to Hornsby and Halo, issue number 6 by Peter J. Tomasi, art by John Calise and Peter Schneesberg, and the cover is by him as well, and John Cleese also worked on this cover. This was a fun issue as they get to learn about their homes of heaven and hell. Really, really enjoyed this a lot. Can't say enough good things about Ghost Machine and what they're doing over there. But with that, let's jump into the recommendations for this week. We're going to, as always, we're going to break it down by publishers, starting with Marvel, where this week saw 291 new issues and 537 releases overall, including variant covers. That's a big week as we went into the May the 4th weekend, which is today. So if you celebrate, I hope you have a very happy May the 4th. But let's jump into Marvel right now. Coming in for Marvel this week, up first, we have issue 4 of Rogue, The Savage Lands by the great Tim Seeley. Art is being done by Zulema Scotto Lavina. This is the J. Scott Campbell cover, and Tanya Laho provided colors on it. And Shanna the She-Devil swings in for the rescue, but will should be enough to help Rogue take down Zaladane and her zombie army. Or will Zaladane's ascension bring about the end of the Savage Land? I've really, really been enjoying in this series. Highly recommend you go pick out the other issues and give this a read. It's been fun. The art, phenomenal. Great story. Really enjoyed this book. Now, with it being May the 4th this weekend, you got to have new Star Wars from several different publishers, actually. So let's dive into a galaxy far, far away from Marvel this week. We have Star Wars, The High Republic, Fear of the Jedi, issue number 3, written by Kevin Scott, art by Marika Cresta, cover is by Ramon Rosanas, colors by Jim Campbell and Ariana Mayer did the lettering. Blockade over Eridu. Lines are drawn as Keeve Trennis's Stormwall Defense fleet joins the fight against the Nihil. Can Keeve remain true to the light as she leads her team into battle? Meanwhile, heartbreak is relived as the past catches up with one of Lorna D's crew. That was a really, really dope cover this week. And I'm happy we got a lot of new Star Wars for this weekend, particularly with it being May the 4th and all. Now, staying in the galaxy far, far away for one more book from Marvel this week, we're going Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker, issue number 3 by Jody Hauser, art by Will Slaney. This is the Phil Noto cover, which I always enjoy his covers. Colors were by Guru EFX and lettering by Travis Lanham. The future of the galaxy lies in the wreckage of the Death Star. Rey's mysterious origins are finally revealed. How will Poe, Finn, and Chewbacca escape the clutches of the First Order and the ruthless General Hux? An epic clash between Rey and Kylo Ren begins here in the shadows of the Death Star. Really enjoy it. And like I said, Phil Noto puts out some amazing Star Wars covers. Give this a read if you can. It's the movie Rise of Skywalker retold in comic book. They get a little bit more freedom on it. So you get a little bit more story and a little bit more stuff into this book. I really enjoyed it so far. Now we're going over to DC. I hate to leave the galaxy far, far away, but we got to. But let's go over to DC this week, and we have the epic and exciting conclusion of The Question, All Along the Watchtower. This is issue 6 by Alex Segura, art by Cian Torme, covered by him as well, and Romulo Fajardo Jr. With the Watchtower collapsing around her, the Question and an unexpected ally must rally her team to take on the mastermind behind the downfall of the Justice League Limited's home base. Can Renee not only survive, but also maintain her new place in the DC universe? This has been a fun series. I'm not giving anything away on this book, but this was a very good conclusion. Alex Segura closed this book out very nicely. I do enjoy his writing, not just in comic book format, but also in his books as well. He knows how to put a good story together, and he didn't miss it with The Question, All Along the Watchtower. Highly recommend this to you. All right, we're jumping over to Boom Studios this week. And up first, we have new this week, The Graveyard Club, Fresh Blood, issue 1 by R.L. Stein, art by Carola Borelli, and I picked up covers by Miguel Mercado, Dan Mora, and Tula Lote. The next chapter of legendary horror author R.L. Stein's coming-of-age teen thriller is here. The members of the Graveyard Club attempt to move on from the disturbing events of last semester, but the strange disappearances of Parker and Rhonda's fathers is too big of a mystery to ignore. A return to the scene of the crime may be just what they need to discover with terrifying truth of the night, but can they survive their investigation long enough to uncover the lurking darkness within? I've loved R.L. Stein since I was a kid, and it continues today as an adult, only I read it in comic book format now. Go pick this up. It's fresh. It's fantastic. I love some R.L. Stein. I love Boom Studios and what they're doing right now. Highly recommend you pick this up and give it a read. Now then, also from Boom Studios this week, we are going to Grimm, issue 22, written by Stephanie Phillips, art by Flaviano Armentaro, and I picked up covers from Flaviano, Baldemar Rivas, and Miguel Mercado. In this issue, Jess finds herself off balance and uncertain as a wave of emotions threaten threaten even her immense ability to suppress them. But just who exactly is she fallen in love with? And what secrets do they hold about Annabelle and Adira? If you're not familiar with Grimm, you can pick up the trade paperbacks and give them a read. They did just have a crossover with Something Is Killing the Children. That was phenomenal. Grimm is phenomenal. I highly recommend you give this a read. It is a really, really good read. Now, Something Is Killing the Children, as I mentioned, it's back this week. Finally, my comic shop got it in, and we got issue 41 of Something Is Killing the Children by James Tynion, art by Weatherdell Adara. And I picked up covers from Weatherdell Adara, Jeannie Frism, Miguel Mercado, and Anwita. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce the last name, but her cover was phenomenal. In this pivotal issue of the best-selling horror saga, the dive into Erica's past continues as we re-enter her younger years, being brought up in the House of Slaughter. What deadly hunts await her and Jessica, and how does Cecilia pose yet another challenge for the young monster hunter? Get the trade paperbacks of these and give them a read before this gets made into a TV series. This is going to be phenomenal. These comic books are phenomenal. I get excited every time I see that on the pull list for the week because I can always look forward to reading this. Highly, highly recommend this. House of Slaughter just finished. You can go pick up the trade paperbacks of the House of Slaughter. Those are also just as good. James Tynion is a mastermind, and he has put together a phenomenal series with Something Is Killing the Children and House of Slaughter. Cannot recommend these enough to you. Now we're going over to Dark Horse this week, and we're going straight into a galaxy far, far away. Once again with Star Wars Hyperspace Stories Codebreaker, issue number 1 by Ethan Sachs, art by Mark Yarza, and this is the Diego Galindo cover. Celebrate the 10-year anniversary of The Force Awakens. Poe Dameron, ace resistance fighter, and his droid companion BB-8 are sent to investigate a piece of First Order tech used to decode resistance messages. Standing in between them and their objectives is an infamous TIE fighter pilot. Can Poe outfly his enemy, or will the mission go down in flames before it begins? This was a really, really dope cover of Poe and BB-8 in their X-Wing. I'm looking forward to this one. I haven't sat down to read it yet, but I'm excited to dig into it. As I said, we got a lot of new Star Wars books for May the 4th weekend. Now, moving right along, we are going to stay in the galaxy far, far away for the entirety of Dark Horse this week. And we have Star Wars The High Republic Adventures, Volume 3, Issue 17 by Daniel Jose Older, who is phenomenal, by the way. Art by Tony Bruno and cover by Harvey Tolibao. I think is how I say his name. As the Battle of Eridu continues, the leader of the Resistance, Jedi Knight Farzala Tarabal, is faced with an impossible decision: risk the lives of his friends or forfeit their chances of defeating the Nihil. It's a dilemma that sees Farzala descend into a dark place, only to discover a surprising confidant. This climactic final battle between the Jedi and the Nihil that's been years in the making. This has been a fun series, reading about the Battle of the Nihil. Highly recommend you pick this up if you can. It has been fun. Now, we're still in the galaxy far, far away. We're going High Republic Adventures. And this is going to be a Phase 3 book. The Battle of Eridu is a one-shot by Alyssa Wong, art by Alyssa Wong, and this is the Jake Bartok cover. Two estranged friends find themselves on opposing sides of the Battle of Eridu. Jedi Padawan Gabby fights for light and life, while Drigget Parse sits on the right hand of the villainous Warden. When the two finally meet again after Drigget's betrayal, it's on the front lines. Can their old friendship be salvaged amidst a war? This is a one-shot. I'm really excited about reading. Alyssa Wong, phenomenal writer, especially on Star Wars. Cannot recommend anything of hers enough. I know she's also doing Psylocke, which has been really good so far. But let's keep it going. We're going over to Keenspot this week, making their return to my recommendations. And we were going with Mark Spears' Monsters, issue number 4. And all this book is done by Mark Spears, including this Amazing Spider-Man 300 homage, which is a phenomenal, phenomenal cover. Look at that cover, y'all. Super cool. But in this one, Richie, Mikey, and Spaz set out to explore the eerie, long-abandoned Crowley estate, hoping for adventure, but instead uncovering a horror far beyond their imaginations. Meanwhile, the local sheriff detains a mysterious drifter, suspecting he may be behind the strange events plaguing the town. As an ancient evil begins to emerge, the stage is set for a pulse-pounding journey that will leave readers breathless. Really enjoying this series. Mark Spears, hats off to you. I don't think you've ever done a bad book in your life. Going over now to IDW Publishing, and we have the exciting conclusion of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Last Ronin 2, Re-Evolution. This is issue 5 by Kevin Eastman, art by Ben Bishop. Phenomenal art by Ben, as always. Covers by Esau and Isaac Escorza, Kevin Eastman, and Ben Bishop. The second installment of the legendary Last Ronin saga comes to its fiery and climatic conclusion. The streets of New York have erupted in all-out war, and no one is safe. Casey, April, Odin, E, Moja, and Uno are all in the crosshairs. Will everyone make it out alive? Their fate is in the hands of Kevin Eastman and Tom Waltz as curtains close on this last chapter of The Last Ronin. I've been with The Last Ronin since the very beginning. This series made me fall in love with the Ninja Turtles all over again. I hadn't read them in so long until The Last Ronin came out, and I picked it back up with The Last Ronin, and I've enjoyed this series very much. If you can, get your hands on it, get the trade paperbacks, whatever you can. This has been very, very good. So now we're going over to ImageComics this week. And what's crazy is there was no Spawn this week. There was none. For the first time since I started doing new comic book recommendations, this is the first week where I didn't have a Spawn book, which is absolutely crazy to me. I'm sure it picks up next week. But in the meantime, let's dive into Image. And we're going to start this week with a highly anticipated book, Lost Fantasy, issue number 1. This is by Kurt Pierce, art by Luca Casalanguida, and covers by him and Alex Diotto. There is a world of magic, myth, and monsters that exists beneath the surface of our own. Since first contact was made over 100 years ago, the great hunters have kept us safe from the creatures that lurk in the shadows. But last night, something broke through, and it's up to rookie monster hunter Henry Blackheart to stop it. I have been anticipating this book for so long, and it's finally out. I've read it, and it absolutely did not disappoint in any kind of way. I love the PlayStation homage on the front. Really fun. Highly recommend if you can go get this, go get this. It was really, really good. And up next, we have some Rick Remender coming up. And we're going The Seasons, issue number 4. Of course, by Rick Remender, art by Paul Azaceta and Matthias Lopez, and cover by Paul Azaceta. Spring uncovers clues as to the whereabouts of her sister Autumn and hatches a plan to find her. But she might already be too late to help Sister Summer, who has been invited to take center stage inside the Carnival Big Top to receive a special gift from the ringleader. Rick Remender, The Seasons, phenomenal, phenomenal book. He don't miss when it comes to this one. Or period, any of his books, really. This has been very fun. I've enjoyed it. Highly recommend y'all give it a read if you can. Now we're going over to, we're taking everyone down with this. Issue number 2. Issue 1 set a perfect stage for this book. Issue 2 also did not miss. This is written by Matthew Rosenberg, art by Stefano Landini and Jason Wordy. And I grabbed covers from Stefano Landini and Christian Ward. War has come to Annalise's secluded island home. Luckily for her, one of her father's robot men found her before the enemy forces did. The robot's only directive is to get Annalise off the island alive. But she has another plan. The explosive saga of love and revenge, mad scientists and super spies, and the child caught in between continues here. Go read this. This is so good. Dude, y'all, this right here, phenomenal. Can't recommend this one enough to you. Get your hands on it. Give it a read. Enjoy it. This is going to be a fun ride for everyone. Now then, coming up last this week from ImageComics, we are... Oh, actually, no. We got 2 more books, so I apologize. Up next, we have You'll Do Bad Things, which, just like We're Taking Everyone Down With Us, came out on the same day 2 weeks ago. And also this one. Phenomenal book. Cannot recommend this enough to you. This is issue 2 by Tyler Boss, art by Adriano Tertulici. And I picked up covers from Tyler Boss and Adriana Tertulici. As the bodies start to pile up around New York City, Detective Bentley and Maslow are looking for any answers to the questions of what connects these victims. Seth attends a sign-in and Q&A for Smile and meets an unlikely companion who may just help solve his writer's block. Loving this homage cover right here. This book, just like We're Taking Everyone Down With Us, phenomenal. Go pick up issue 1 and then pick up issue number 2. Give these a read. These are amazing books. Loving what Image is coming out with right now because they have some phenomenal titles on the shelf for everybody to enjoy. Now, last but not least, we're going to Ghost Machine. And we have The Rocket Fillers, issue number 5 by Francis Manapul and Peter J. Tomasi. Francis also does the art on this book. And this cover is by Ron Sook. And Rob Lee and Francis Manapul also did the lettering in this book. When the mysterious floating eyeball sends one of the Rockefeller family to the ER, a squad of heavily armed intruders converge on their home. The only one left to defend it, the cute little dog rats. Pray for the invaders. I love this Beatles homage cover. Really, really cool cover. And the guys invading their home have no clue what they're in for with little rats. They're about to have their hands full with that little dog. Can't recommend the Rocket Fillers enough to you. And what Ghost Machine overall is doing, you can just pick up a Ghost Machine title and give it a read. You're going to love it. That's it this week. April 30th is in the books. New Comic Book Day. Free Comic Book Day was yesterday. I hope everybody got to go out to their local comic shops and pick up some free books. Hopefully find their new favorite coming out or coming up. It is May the 4th. I hope everybody who celebrates it is having a happy May the 4th because Revenge of the 5th is right around the corner and it's on a Monday. So you know it's going to be a Monday of Mondays, y'all. So that's my recommendations for April the 30th. Let us know what you picked up down in the comments below. I will be releasing my interview with Ben Lacey on Wednesday this week. If you missed it live, you will have a chance to watch that on Wednesday. Keep an eye out because I do have a Star Wars show coming up, and we're going to cover Star Wars, the new Star Wars out right now, Andor. I know there's a new one coming out today. We'll also highlight some stuff from Star Wars Celebration that just happened. So be looking out for that. Check out the other social media platform. I'll be dropping all the covers I picked up this week on those. So stay tuned for that. And as always, I hope you enjoyed this show. If you did, please hit that like and subscribe button down below there. And on behalf of myself, the chairman, and your council of nerds, this USDN short is USDN approved. Thank you, everybody. Happy May the 4th.